Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's do this, guys. Oh,
And
man.
do this we shall. How you doing, brother?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing all right? No, man, you're barely doing all right. You
Yeah.
barely made
So,
it. You almost had to swim here. What happened with you? You had a flood going on?
yeah, right now it's been raining since last night all the way to now. It's supposed to go until noon tomorrow. We've already got tonight just alone at least 6 inches. So
That's gross.
I walk outside of the karate school and it picks up again, and all just completely right on top of me. And then I run into my car, and it won't start.
Right.
Then I get into the other car, the after-school van, and it won't start. So
Wait, why?
I'm sitting.
Why, just because of rain?
No, it just happened to happen. All right, like something's going on with the batteries on both cars. Just happens to happen right now tonight. So
Damn.
while it's pouring down, so I'm like trying to charge my battery with like water all the way up to the bottom of my calf. So, and then that didn't really work. So my dad had to come help me and use his charger to work. So yeah, it was nuts, man. So.
There's probably been worse times.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it has. But I know. I mean, like my girlfriend, she can't even get out of her driveway right now. It's flooded all the way. She can't get out of that. There's several people like that right now. And so it's and I know it's worse for people that are more south than me. So it's
Can't get out
it's
of the
been
drive.
crazy.
I don't. But I don't understand that. What do you mean can't get out of the driveway?
Well, if the water is up to like
Is that high?
To the top of the wheels, yeah, then you kind of can't do it. Not everyone has those types of vehicles to.
So, is it you don't normally get rain like that? You just
Not really. I mean, sometimes.
is this a all right? That's cool.
Yeah, it's not cool.
I don't really have. I can't really think of many times where I've been like stranded because of rain.
Well,
I can
and
think
for
of
me,
many times I've been stranded because of snow,
right,
not rain.
right. So there's been the floods and stuff, and that happens.
I guess.
And then there's but then just the other element of both cars not starting, which was insane. So
Yeah.
so that added a whole nother element to it, and trying to get here in time, and been at the school all day. So yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's cool now that you're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now that you're here, we didn't skip a beat. We didn't miss
That's right.
Inside Scoop. You weren't even late, man. That's pretty cool.
True.
How was your weekend?
Let's see, man. Weekend. What did I do over the weekend? I don't even remember. Actually, I think I had like the weekend kind of off as far as not having things to do at the school. So, did some family time. Worked a little bit on some projects and stuff. That was about it. So I really not too sure, but it was so long ago that yeah.
It was so long ago, man. It was like 3-4 days ago. It's
Exactly,
like that.
Man.
Your week's already been packed like that. All right,
yeah.
that's cool.
Monday and Tuesday have been pretty busy, man. So
yeah.
How about you, man?
Dude, I did another wedding this weekend.
Yeah.
I did another one. This one was kind of cool. It was interesting because I like Jedi mind tricked the people into requesting like late 90s hip hop. Like,
nice.
So people come up to me all the time like, oh man, we got to get requests. And I would just like, I subtly want to play whatever the hell I want to play. Right. That's all I want to do. Right. But it's whatever,
Right.
You want me to play whatever, cha-cha slide, whatever. I'll play cha-cha slide, whatever. That's cool, whatever. But then as they come up, I start talking with them. And then I don't know how this happened. Because I won't play. I won't say, you'll love this. I'll put this on, which to some degree I will. But I want them to tell me what it was I want them to say, right? So I got a Jedi mind trick them a little bit. So I got this guy to request, kid you not, the thong song.
All
Right?
right.
I
All
didn't think
right.
he would actually do it. I'm like, no way you'll actually. And he's like, oh yeah, man, play it. Tell everybody I requested. I'm like, done.
All
Right?
right.
So yeah, I'm playing stuff like Quad City DJs, The Train, I'm
All
everything. You
right.
name it, I'm playing late
I love it.
90s hip hop stuff. It was fun. And I was like, this is awesome. This is my party.
That's
Right?
right.
So that part was cool. However, there was this kid, right? I'll call him a kid because I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll say he's of age, right? Let's say he's 21, 22, 23, max. I mean, but I'm telling you maximum, right?
Uh-huh.
So he's out there and like I got the place going, right? I'm not giving any breaks. It's pumping. They don't want many slow songs. We're just having a fantastic time. Everybody's out there. And half the family was Italian too. So I'm like, you're speaking my language. This is fantastic. I love these people. And then there's this kid. He starts doing backflips on the dance floor.
Right.
And not even backflips. He's doing back handsprings, right?
Oh, okay. So like, yeah.
Then people start leaving. So now he feels like the place is his.
Yeah.
Now he starts doing round off back handsprings. And I'm like, you can't, no, like you can't do this. Like, and any other guy like the martial arts world who's like been in a circle and like if you can break dance, like you get it. Like, but like if you can't and you just try and do a trick, it's like, all right, there's like a certain degree where like that's okay. But after a while, it's like, bro, just get back with that. Like, you got no top rock, get the hell out of here. Right? No, there's none of that. This guy cannot dance. We're in Wisconsin. It's not a lot of people dancing out there as it is. So this guy is just everybody's gone. Now he thinks playing. So I have to get on the mic and I'm like, hey, why don't you calm down on the dance floor gymnastics, buddy? You know, some people giggled and then finally it gets to the point where I look at him and I'm like, hey, you knock it off. Right? I got to step across the table.
Wow.
So the kid proceeds to give me, the double barrel, and then do 19 in a row. But his foot goes right past, I'm telling you, inches from the mother of the groom's face. It goes like, she like moves and it goes like that. So I'm like, and he's giving me the double barrel. And I'm like, all right, this is a reason why I cannot be a bouncer. Because that's not even my position, and I already want to drag him out by his face. Right? That's what I'm saying, Mike. You get it, right?
No,
Quad City, Mike. See, the Quad City DJs was good because they're a group that can't dance. So when I played Quad City's DJs, the Train, what do you think they did? They didn't dance. They just all paraded around in a circle and just did a little train thing themselves. I knew what I was doing, Mike. I knew what I was doing. Right?
But he's right. That's not. I wouldn't consider that the best of '90s hip hop. But it was a fun song. I will say that.
So I go and I'm like, all right, I got to go talk to the wedding coordinator. And I'm like, yo, tell me what you want me to do. This guy's going to create a problem. Do you want me to handle it? I mean, I will handle it quick. And I'll do whatever you want. If you want me to just let him be, I'll let him be. If you want me to handle it, I will handle it very quick. All right. So I didn't have to, but it was all right. Yeah, it was cool. I had a good time. It was all right.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I got another one
this
weekend.
Man.
We'll see how it goes. Man. Yeah, but there was some sport karate stuff happening, man. A lot of movement going on.
A lot of stuff going on, and we're gonna get into it. Yeah, we're gonna get into it today. So
let's get into our competitors first, though.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into competitors of the week. I'll start this time because I think you usually start. So,
sure.
My competitor of the week is one of my great friends, great rivals. Tim Conkel, and it's actually his birthday today. So, happy birthday to Tim Conkel.
Happy birthday, Tim. You see.
So, Tim is one of my favorite, really overall competitors. He can do almost every weapon. Flying commas, regular commas, nunchucks, bow, all that. And he's also an amazing forms competitor, tricker. He's won almost every type of tournament that there is. Okay, so he's won an NBL title. He's won and made it on stage in NASCA. He's won an ATA. He's won an ATA championships.
For real?
He's won WKA. He's won WACO. He's won let's see. There's more things I'm sure. I mean, he's won like the hyper extreme weapons
Get
challenges.
out.
He's won the adrenaline tricking. He won. He was the champion for the weapons battle. So I think
Whoa.
he beat Reed in that, and Reed Presley in that, and then lost his title to Cole Presley. So he's done it all in sport martial arts forms and weapons, and he's also really good as well at Korean forms. So Tim and I, we
That's
started
kind of his background.
Right. He actually started as a breaker, so more of a TKD style
Get
breaker.
out.
Yeah. He's also, people forget too. He was on So You Think You Can Dance as well. That was kind of how he first kind of got.
What?
Yeah. So Tim's done it all, man. He has a martial arts school now in Georgia called New Heights Karate, and it is his. He has that. Him and his girlfriend run that together. And it's his birthday day. He turns 30, which is insane to me because he was like my little brother that I thought would never like turn 30. So kind of nuts.
What's that say about you, Jeff?
I know. I turn 37 next month. So
hey, what's that say about me?
Yeah, I know. So the first time him and I actually like met, we were like vicious rivals, and we didn't actually get along. And then it was funny
I like those stories.
How eventually we became like best friends, and we started rooming together every tournament and going to tournaments together and stuff like that. And so yeah, ended up being one of my best friends, and I respect him a lot as a martial artist. I think he's super underrated. I mean, just listen to all the different accomplishments he's done, you know, and
I didn't even know he's done all that.
Winning on different circuits and doing a lot of that on his first year on the circuit for each of those things, right? So, you know, and he's been a part of some of the times when Kick Team won demo at U.S. Open, he was on that team.
He was on Kick Team?
Yeah, so he's done a lot, man.
Those are good
so
demos.
It's pretty cool. So Tim Conkel's my competitor of the week, and happy birthday, my friend.
Yeah, happy birthday, Tim. That's pretty cool. Now, when you mentioned like, you know, like going on different circuits, let's touch on that later. Remind me, because I know I'll forget.
We will.
But I'm going to get into my competitor of the week. My competitor of the week is Ben Jones. Ben Jones, this kid, I got to tell you, this kid is the truth. All right?
Yes.
He is going to be on Virtual Forms Tour. And when I saw the announcement, I'm like, dude, how am I not have Ben Jones as one of my competitors of the week so far? I'm like, dude, right. I'm using it now, today. Right? So I'm excited to see what he does for the Virtual Forms Tour. So I remember the first time I saw Ben Jones, I was talking to Jackson, and I'm like, hey, man, I want to watch this, like some of the kids coming up, because now you're in the adults. Like, who do I watch? He's like, oh, you got to watch Ben Jones. And I'm like, but like, who else? Like, when I'm talking about like the bow form coming up, and he's like, just watch Ben Jones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it? Like, for real? He's like, dude, you know, when you see, just watch Ben Jones. I'm like, I mean, all right. I mean, you're about as credible as it gets when you're talking about bow staff. So, I mean, if you say that, all right, I'll believe you. And dude, he's not kidding me. Like,
yeah.
So as I'm watching every bit of his form, jaw completely dropped. No clue I was about to walk in it. And not just like, he tricks with it as well. So he's he's extreme.
Yeah.
It's like
his forms are good, everything. Yeah.
Right. So then I watched him, and I think I did even a little interview with him at AK Warrior Cup. And I felt bad because I talked to him beforehand. I'm like, yo, can I get like a little interview with you as soon as you're done with your runoff? And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Actually, Jackson kind of told him to. He's like, yeah, just do what this guy says. So, because he didn't really know me, right? So he said he agreed to that, and he dropped.
Yeah.
And then I like, all right, you want to do this little interview? He did not want to have it because, I mean, obviously, why would you want to, right?
Yeah, he was kind of frustrated. Yeah.
So now I got to talk about all the positive things that there is with him when he he really should have won. I mean, there's no kidding. He really should have. It was a stacked, you know, youth weapons runoff. But I mean, like, for real, he should have been at the top of it. And I felt bad because now I got to completely divert your attention to this thing
Right.
instead. It's
But it may be, yeah, but
maybe it was a
helped
blessing.
him.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it helped him get his mind off it, move on to the next thing. Because
Yeah.
I saw him, you interviewed him for one of your, was it top 5, right? You
Yep.
did? Yeah, and I thought you did a good job with that and talking about some of the different ones. So,
Yeah.
so it was cool.
You wouldn't have guessed it, but I mean, it
Right.
took a while. It took a while for him to get focused.
Yeah.
In
I
that.
get that. I get that.
So this is like I'm telling you, like I'm jacked for it. I'm really, really excited about it, but it's gonna be good. So
Yeah.
I can't even remember who else his competition is, but
Yeah, it's all
Ben
three
Jones.
team. It's all
For me,
three
it's Ben
teammates.
Jones.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
3 teammates, so it's pretty cool.
Who are the who are the other ones?
So it's
I forgot.
Esteban Tremblay, who's amazing.
Oh,
And
yeah, I know him.
then I can't remember the other kid's name. I think it's Noah. No, it's not Noah. Sorry. It's all 3 are on competitive edge. They're all like that 15 to 17 range.
Sure.
And they're all like the next. They can do everything. Like the other guy does sword. He has some amazing, like a single sword, and he does it in a creative way. And I really like it.
It's been a while since we've seen
he's one
just
of the
a
most,
single sword like that.
He is one of the most super clean competitors I've seen. And I wish that we had that thing pulled up, but we will.
His name? We'll figure it out.
But we'll get there. So yeah. So we talked about let's see. What did we tell everyone we were going to talk about today?
Well, we said
we already got some eyes.
We're gonna ruffle some feathers.
That's fine. I'm in that mood. So
I ain't far behind you.
So here's my thing right now. We have had a crazy year in sport karate. A lot of tournaments haven't happened. Some have. So we
probably count on one hand how many have.
Correct. And we are all pretty much with our back against the wall. And so, yeah, Jeremy. So I feel right now, this is the time where all of us need to be together more than ever, right?
Word.
And so right now, some of those things.
That's what I'm talking about, Jero.
I'm trying to get to that point. But let's see. So some of those things that we had to do, right? So right now we have new formats. We had the virtual tournaments that came up, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, we're like, all right, this is great. This is a new thing. Of course, you're going to have doubters in that, right? But I feel like, why do we do this to ourselves? As soon as we have something that all of us can at least get unified on or something, just because we don't even need to have our leagues involved in right now. Just, hey, we're just going to do these tournaments or whatever. No, what happens? We start dividing ourselves into, I'm only going to do these tournaments because of this system, or I don't like this because, they don't, let's see, they judge it a little differently or whatever, right? So already from the beginning of this virtual tournament of COVID, we've already split ourselves off, right? And then we start getting into the NASCA tournaments and the WKC tournaments and the WKU tournaments. And can we all just, do what you want to do? Or no, it has to be where everyone has to pick sides and only, support.
Because you know what they're doing?
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
They're drinking the Kool-Aid.
That's right.
For y'all listening, I just drank the biggest glass of Kool-Aid.
That's right. Oh, man. So
it was cherry too. I'm not even. That's good. When you got 3-year-olds, you got Kool-Aid in the house, and that's good stuff. I'm gonna tell you that.
Exactly.
But that is exactly what's happening.
The pie is too small to split. So I'm just gonna tell you just some of the things from my. I haven't had my Grand Slam Open in 2 years, maybe.
Sure.
Right.
I can't.
So and since then, NBL's kind of gone down. I haven't really been involved with NBL. But even when I decided to put on just out of nowhere an online tournament, people were telling other people, "Oh, I don't want to deal with the NBL drama, or I don't want to deal with this or that." And I'm like, "It's a virtual tournament. What drama is there going to be?" And then I'm all, so there's things like that that kind of pissed me off, you know, when it's like, why do we automatically as martial artists try to divide and split, you know? And that's just from the get-go, right?
Yep.
From this. So now
From
we're
Jump Street.
here and we got, you know, we have Virtual Fight Tour and now we have Pro Point. And I'm just going to get into it. I want to look at both sides though, right? Because there's a
There's great
lot
stuff. There's great
there's
stuff
great
to
stuff,
both sides.
but also
I
I
want to
don't
talk about
know
it.
the behind the scenes situations of both. So I can't say that one is doing this one, and there's not a bad guy in any of us. All
Oh, are
I'm
you saying you
saying,
don't know or you know the behind the scenes?
no, I'm going to say I don't know every
Oh,
single
because
behind
I
the
don't know.
scenes. Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is we already are battling against UFC, boxing, everything else, right? So why do we need to split ourselves against each other, right? Especially now when we're doing something that is going to take our sport to the next level, right? Why do we need to do that? Now, again, I don't know if VFT wants to work with ProPoint. I don't know, you know, any of that stuff. That's fine. Let's at least try to stay away from the same weekends and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like it's a tournament, okay? It's not like there's 1,000 different tournaments. These are two different organizations that are different. Yes, I've heard the argument already that the Virtual Forum Tour and the Pro Point, they're two different crowds because here's what's happened. So they're going to end up being on the same day, right? The Forums Tour and the Pro Point. And then
I mean, they are, but at the same point,
but here's
I
the deal.
would, if I was in an actual tournament, I would only because at this stage of where I'm at, I would only watch the people I want to watch for forums, but I
Right.
would watch all fighting. But for
Right.
this, I would watch everything.
Right. But here's the people that we should be getting. We should be getting our students to watch this stuff, right? So
Duh, because there's nothing to get them behind. There's nothing to get them
right.
pumped about anymore.
So you as a martial artist, you don't want to just say, "Oh, this is for you and this for you," and you're already splitting up your students as they go. No, you want them to appreciate everything in martial arts. We are in sport karate, sport martial arts. So let's make sure that we're not dividing and dividing each other up. You know, that's just my opinion on that. Here's one thing. I think that here's a couple of things. I don't know if Jesse has, you know, been open to working with other people. I don't know that. I know though that ProPoint is putting their event on the same day as that. So there's two different things there. We could look at that. One thing I'm going to say the ProPoint is doing, they are adding other people involved. So they involved Mike Conroy. They have Josh.
That
They have
part's
Alex.
cool.
So they're really bringing in other people. So it looks like they're trying to work with people. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know as far as, you know, with Jesse, you know, he has brought in several of us to do this, you know, to move forward. You know, like he has several of us to be commentators and different things like that, right? So
Right.
For me, we definitely need the events and that's fine. You know, I'm looking at Jeremy's right now.
What's Jeremy saying? I
Let's
disagree. Let's put more out there, more quality events, more
right.
exposure,
So okay,
even if in the same date. Well,
but
so
we're
I
talking about
no,
two
I
completely
guess
different things. I mean, we have 10 events every weekend, right? Don't
not
we have?
now. No,
Well,
Jero's got a good point. But
right,
the thing I think what Jeff is trying to say though, Jero, is while you're saying Jero, we need a lot of events out there. I agree with you. We need as many as possible. But there's not that many right now. So
right.
why? So
Why?
what
Yeah,
Jeff is trying to say is let's unify as a sport, you
yeah,
know, and let's just try to get behind that. Like we're split up into sanctioning bodies, but we're still sport martial arts. So
right.
we can go, I mean, all right, yeah.
But it
We
also
already kind
depends
of
where
do
you're
that
at.
to some degree. Like people in March avoid the Irish Open. They don't
Right.
want to have it too close to that because they don't want that. That's
Correct.
why WKC. No, what was it? I think it was Pan Am's. They didn't
Yeah.
want to compete with WKC Worlds. They were like, well,
So
we
they
can't
moved.
compete with that.
Right.
So they switched it. They went earlier, and then the Diamonds did, which
Right.
I kind of gave me a little taste that was different because they were on the same dates too. I didn't necessarily like that.
Right. I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
What's
mean, I
Mike
agree with
saying?
that.
I
He's
do want to
saying
see more up and coming fighters. I love watching the top guys, but I would love to see a few people right off the cusp. So
what
I
he's
agree
trying
with
to
that.
say is like, don't try to put all of it at once, and then guess what happens? You just kind of saturate it again, and you don't. The whole point of putting these people in a platform is to give them some exposure, right?
Correct.
But if everything's all on the same day, then it doesn't happen. Well, we already have we have tournaments that do that, like.
But that's the thing is right now, what are you competing against?
Well, okay. Jeremy, he had 3 tournaments he had this weekend in his area. Okay, he ran a virtual tournament and he had an actual a physical tournament. So he was actually running a tournament, coordinating in a virtual tournament while he was coordinating a physical tournament. Okay,
What?
so give him a round of applause for that because that's pretty cool.
I didn't even know how it's
Yeah,
possible. Yeah,
so
hand
there
claps to
are
you,
a
Jamie.
lot
How
of
the heck
events.
did you do that?
There are a lot of events going on, but in certain areas, right? So yes, we need events and we need the exposure, but I feel like we're already competing against UFC, boxing, all that other combat stuff. Why not? All right, if you want to put the same month, that's fine. It's not a big deal. But I just think it takes away a little bit. I think we could do better.
Richard Osborne is saying to market a smaller competitors, we're all drawing the same names.
Yep.
Need a huge infusion of new blood after COVID is under control. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. COVID doesn't need to be under control for a virtual tournament. It doesn't. Right. You stay
for
home.
These type things, yeah. So I think both of these, I'm
right,
fine. I'm fine with having 2. I don't want people to think that, like, oh, I'm only supporting this one. I'm only supporting. That's not what it is at all. What I'm saying is that they can work together. Their formats have become are different, which is great because it divides it up some. And I think, one thing that Josh said on CTE, which I thought was good, was, that he maybe wants to work with some of the tournaments, either the NASCAR tournaments that maybe they're qualifying to be in their tournament,
Well, I think that's
honestly,
not bad.
for me, I would even do the finals that way. I would just say, hey, the finals is going to be ran by VFT. The finals are going to be ran by ProPoint. And that's all it is. It's a big show. You can do that. I'm sure there's ways to do it. And you highlight those people, and you're actually bringing those events to their audience. So, the competitors.
But then it's
really
a separate
see
thing, right? It's a separate thing.
It wouldn't have to be. It would be the finals. So you don't have to do. There's always ways to do it. Okay. We keep saying, why do we need to have the finals be this another competition where we had a competition all day long, right? Let's put a show on, right? So that would be kind of like the show to give them. Kind of like if you have set fights in the finals and then you have some grands. Don't do the rest of grands. Just have Pro Point as the finals, or just have those set fights you've been pumping up as for VFT in the finals. There's always ways to do it. Again, with VFT, you could do a forms one,
but it's hard.
Here's
the hard part. The only hard part about that, about having the set fights at the end, is that those people competing who are in the set fights competed earlier and lost. They're like, well, I don't want you for. I just beat you. I gotta watch you fight that guy. I don't want to watch you.
Yeah, but it's
because we get prideful that way.
That's true, but it's already been pumped up. It's not. It's a little different, and I also think that most of those people would probably not fight, and they would get paid enough to not. Now if they wanted to, hey, that's great. But
here's what I'll say: we lack good promoters. And I don't mean people putting on events. I mean actually promoting, building up.
Correct.
You know what I literally loved? I loved when Jesse did the Warriors thing.
Yeah. That was
like
cool.
in the movie, And
Yeah.
he did the Cam Dawson,
Yeah. That
come
was awesome.
out and play.
I loved it, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was dying. And he did the whole face paint thing as well. Fantastic. That was cool. That was cool. That
Right.
was a fun little thing. And you know
Right.
what I always thought about? The videos, the promo videos, they don't always have to be so serious and stoic. Sometimes they can be funny. The
Yeah.
idea is to promote it, get people involved in it.
Yeah. I
And
mean, as we see more of these, I think we'll get there. Right. We'll get to that.
well, when we started talking about this,
Yeah.
and we say we don't have many tournaments to get going. Okay, so when you're running a karate school, martial arts school,
Yeah.
um, doing this the right way, if you're doing this the right way, you don't need a karate tournament, but you kind of do. All right, you need something to promote that's bigger than what you have in your class. So about
Right.
every 3 weeks, you need something big. 3 to 4 weeks, you need something big, like, hey man, we're getting ready for this thing. Don't forget, we got this. You need something,
Right.
whether it's
And that's really
something
hard right now. I've noticed that big time.
right.
So I
That's
mean,
why I'm like,
yeah.
why are you not everyone that is there?
Right.
Just jump in every single one.
Yeah.
Here's a question. We kind of brought it up when you were talking about Tim, when you said, oh, he's done everything and he's done ATA.
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about ATA competition.
So ATA is the biggest martial arts franchise in the world, right?
Well, I
I'm
knew
pretty
that.
sure.
I knew that, but I don't really know
they
a lot
have-
about its competition.
So their
I know my
competition
cousin did
league,
once.
their competition league is pretty much an international inter-school tournament. Okay, so
That's wild.
which is insane. There's like 5,000, maybe more than that. I've heard maybe more than 5,000 competitors, right? And they
What?
all know how the judging is going to be, how this is going to be. At their worlds, they have the day before they have their testing for everybody who's testing for their mastership. They have, I mean, and
It's the
it's just
world's
crazy.
largest intramural tournament.
Right, but it's not like all these people like are from the same school per se. You know what I mean? Like they are just from under the same system.
Right.
So they have, they have their ATA traditional divisions that are their traditional forms. And I think it's like based on your rank. So for your rank, everyone has to do this form. And so it's focused on, you're based on your rank for that. Now for extreme, I think it's just black belt. They have the, the XMA divisions and stuff.
Oh, all right.
But those guys have gotten really good, and they are at a whole nother level. They're on ESPN once a year as well. So they have their ESPN Invitational, and that was the one that Tim won with them. And he's also won the World Championships as well. Let's see. I don't know if I can highlight this or not.
Well, so
but yeah, Richard's saying the industry really pushes away from tournaments, and organizations are not crossing over. They want their athletes to stay in house. So we deal with that a lot. Richard and I have talked about this a bunch with Taekwondo, right? And I think that's one of the areas that we really got to push is get that Taekwondo group into sport karate, right? And you and I have talked about this a lot, how sport karate alienates Taekwondo or even the Korean styles by pushing them back.
It alienates anyone or anything that's not themselves.
True. So true.
You don't have to be Taekwondo or Shotokan karate.
Right.
You can just be a school that really hasn't done tournaments and have someone who's in the school who's a really good fighter show up and then just, yeah, you're not going to get it. Come on now. All right. All right. Example. Man, okay. Did I feel bad about this? All right. This woman. So, I mean, I'd say it was probably 5 years ago. All right. Maybe it was 6. Drives to the Battle of Atlanta. Has never done a NASCAR tournament before. All right. She's from a few states away. Here's that this Battle of Atlanta tournament is supposed to be something pretty big. Yeah. That's how she said it. So that's how you know she didn't really know.
Right.
So she goes, I think she was like a lightweight woman, 18 to 29-ish. Okay. So she goes She wins her first fight. Okay, so she wins. And so she's just waiting. She's watching it going, but since she's not a part of it, she sees the second round going, but she's not 100% certain how they're positioning this bracket thing. Even though she kind of knows how brackets go, because she's never done any NASCA thing before.
Right.
So they run the last fight, and she goes, "Hey, I didn't fight again." And the scorekeeper's like, "Well, who are you?" And she's like, "Well, I'm so and so." And now they realize they brought up the person she beat to go fight again. They lost twice. She never lost.
Right.
Right. And the answer to her was just, too bad, so sad. That's just kind of you messed up. You should have said something. No, not you messed up. You should have said something. But let that have been a top seeded.
Right.
Let that have been a top 1, 2, 3 seeded competitor.
Correct.
The whole division would have ran again.
Right. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
But we looked at that person, and I don't even want to say we. She was looked at like, I mean, did you really have a shot?
Right.
That's kind of what it was looked at like.
Yeah.
That's not the freaking point. If she didn't have a shot, then let her fight and let it be done with. If she was going to lose, let her fight.
For me, that shows that judges, promoters, and even the competitors were not really welcoming to her, right? And I see this. I saw this a bunch
outsider
in NASCA. I saw this a bunch in NBL. And you had parents that were the ones just looking for rules to be violated and people that could get DQ'd. Then you had parents that were trying to help them, new competitors, understand the rules so that way they didn't get DQ'd. And so, and that's where we need to be. It's like, hey, listen, I don't want you to get DQ'd, so can you do this or that, right?
Like what happened? It was like, oh, you're an outsider. Hey, welcome to what we're doing.
Right, exactly.
Now, I understand there's a competitive nature to this.
Yeah.
And there absolutely should be. But and to some degree, it could be like,
the right way.
Let me get in my zone.
Yeah.
But don't be an a-hole about it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we all have to carry the responsibility of growing the sport.
Ambassadors of this sport.
I really think every single competitor can be a leader. And I think everybody can, because it starts with leading yourself, right? So you have to lead yourself to your goals, right? Well, guess what? We can do the same thing. And yeah, exactly, Brett. So true, man. And it happened all the time. You even if you take some years off, you come back, you almost are like an outsider again. You know, I mean, I've dealt with it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Exactly, Richard. You got to treat every competitor like it's their first event. We don't have the volume to alienate people. No, we don't. We do want things ran a certain way. It doesn't mean cater to everyone and keep changing the rules to benefit. I mean, to benefit this person. Oh well, let's just get rid of this rule so that way they can come in. No, we're not saying that. What we're saying is teach them and help them get to that point, right? So they understand it, and that way they can compete. But don't.
All right. Now we're being specific, but in other ways we're being really vague.
Exactly.
Now, I was thinking about this today when you and I were texting about this. I was just kind of thinking, hey, yo, what if like it's like this? What if circuits and world sanctioning bodies actually got behind and supported each other? You know, I understand sometimes they don't want to because like, yo, our world championships is in, Peru, I doubt that.
Correct.
Our world championships is in, Budapest. There's no way our competitors are going to be able to go to both. And I get that you're like, I don't want to help them. I don't want to give them my competitors.
Right.
I understand that. But the one that kept popping into my head was like, why can't NASCA and WKC get behind each other? Right. That would be great. That would be awesome. But even more than that, I thought what would really help would be NASCA. And the reason I keep saying NASCA, because it is the standard for tournaments nationwide. That's where the top level tournaments as a whole are in that one. All right, not all of them, but yes, but for the most part. What if NASCAR and Waco got
Mhm.
behind each other?
Right.
It'd be a wrap, man. It'd be a wrap. It'd be great, right? Now we started to have a glimmer of hope in this. Do you remember when they were going to have like the Open Series, the World
The World Tour.
Tour?
Yeah. Yeah. Open
I
World Tour.
don't know what happened with that, or what was going with that, or what the legs were like,
Right.
but it looked like it was going to be a real thing, and it was like everybody was jostling for position to get on there. I think I looked at the list one time and there was like, I don't know, like 15, 16 tournaments. Like, come on, guys.
Right. Right.
Not everybody's going to do this, you know?
Yeah.
But it was like a who's of tournament, you
Mhm.
know? Like,
Yeah.
if you really wanted to be a part of it, like, this is where you had to be. Like, yeah, we're going to go to Johannesburg, South Africa. Like, wow.
Right.
All right. But if you knew,
Well,
that's
I
where
could stay here in America and do 5 of these events and not worry about it. That's kind of what happened.
that's what I know.
Yeah.
But
So,
it never really got going though, right? So people do that though. People will, sacrifice, and they will go, okay, here's an example. Here's how you know, right? As a world economy, we've gotten pretty good, all right? Because there was zero chance, zero, my dad was going to drive out of the state of Minnesota. It definitely wasn't getting on no plane to
uh-huh.
go to a car tournament. Kiss that one goodbye. All right.
Right.
All right. We went to a couple tournaments in neighboring, like in Wisconsin, because there was an hour and a half drive away. That was the maximum we were going. All right.
Yeah.
So that was it. All right. And we already had to know people going there. There was no chance, right? Because there just wasn't a ton of money. Now, that was in the early 90s. Okay.
Right.
Then it started building up a little bit more. Once we got into the 2000s, it was like, yeah, that's just what you do, right? It just started to boom. I remember in 2000, all of a sudden it was like everybody was just the amount of competitors was so much greater, and it just kept building and building and building. And now you just kind of accept, yeah, if your ticket's $400, it's like, yeah, it's tough luck. Your ticket's $400. You gripe a little bit, but then you end up going, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, wow, there's no chance, right? That would have happened. Now that was just in the early 90s. In the 80s, no, we weren't doing that. That's why we needed those big corporate sponsors to only bring the top people around to do things like that. But even then, there wasn't lots of competitions.
But
competitions weren't even making money.
Yeah, but Alex, you're looking at it differently though. The tournaments were bigger because their regional areas were bigger. So in the 80s. Now you go to a national tournament, you don't see as much from that local area. It's just national competitors. So it's a little different. When I was growing up, the tournaments were bigger, but there were more. Like, you went to Kentucky, you saw everyone, 500, 600 competitors just from that area. Then
That's
you had the
different.
nationals, and so you don't see that as much anymore. Some areas, yes, but
that's not an issue of anything other than the people in that areas are not very good at promoting. They're just not promoting very. All right, here's an example.
Maybe. Time out. So,
okay.
But what I'm saying is, it's not necessarily that good at promoting. It's because they're not unified, right? And so, but most of the time, those terms don't make it to the next level of national if they don't have that regional kind of thing. So I think our regional terms have gotten bigger lately, or there's more regional terms going to regional instead of trying to be national.
Well, that would be better. Jeff, where does all this start, though?
Starts, I think, with teamwork. That's just me.
No, but I mean actual, like, geographically. Like, where does this all start? In the karate school.
Right.
It has to start in the classroom. It starts in the classroom. Because you need zero chance any one of your students is going to, well, let's just say the Battle of Atlanta, just because we were talking about. None of them are going to the Battle of Atlanta if you don't tell them to.
Right. We're actually not wrong. We're actually talking about this right here, buddy. So,
who's it? What?
Exploder or whatever. Extra Plover, whatever. P-Lover. Yes, starts with the school owner. So
he was wrong. Nobody goes to karate school. Owners are just... Uh,
But it does start with the school owner, and we kind of talked about that.
maybe. Let's say, how about this? The school owner, he might not be present in the classroom. He might not be the face, right? So of that class,
Yeah, right. Well, I think you're getting a little particular on that part there, Alex.
but
Because
that's
again,
exactly how.
but what I'm saying is, all right, he's just saying in general. He means if he's thinking the school owner, then he's thinking the school owner is the face of it, right? Or is the head
Oh, okay
instructor.
then.
Not everybody is the same
All
way.
right,
All
all right,
right,
all right, all
stop.
right, all right.
Get out of your head, man. Come on. All right.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
so, but it does do that. But again, for me, I can't be the person that forces everyone to go to certain tournaments. I'm not going to be that instructor. I can encourage them to, and I can give them a list of tournaments that we can go to. Um, and I could give them a huge list, but it's like then I'm just spreading them so thin that
Why?
that. What do you mean? Why? You really think they're going to go to 20
Who
tournaments
cares?
a year?
Who
I mean,
cares if they do?
well, then okay. If they do, then they're not spending the money in your school. So that's one of the reasons why.
False.
So
This is false. This is what people say all the time. I'm gonna tell
okay,
you. I'm gonna map out exactly why that's wrong. And any owner listening right now who agrees with that, listen carefully right now. Okay.
all right, go.
So if the thought process is, well, if I tell them to go and they go to this tournament, in Florida, but we're in, Missouri, that's a lot of money that they're going to spend and all that. The whole family's going to get there. They're not going to spend that money in my school. False. They already have a tuition that they're already spending in your school. Okay. If they go to that tournament in Florida, they have a positive experience. Are they going to be more in love with karate or less? They're more in
Yes,
love with
yes. No,
karate.
I agree
So
with
what
that.
you just did is now, if they go there, let's say they go to one of Jeremy's tournaments, high probability they're going to have a positive experience. Okay.
Right.
There you go, Jero. All right. So now they have a positive experience. You've now just bought yourself retention. All right. You're investing. The money's not going to you. You're
Right.
investing in student retention. So now they go there, they have a great time. Now, but they don't win. You know what they want to do? They want to come back, they want to win more. All right, let's get back to it, man.
Right.
Now you got maybe you had 3 people go. Now those 3 people who go tell the rest of school, oh man, you should have been. You should see what happened, man. This thing was awesome. Now those people want to go. It's okay. Give this guy the plug. Give them the money. All you want to do is make sure that your students have a positive experience. Spend that money over there.
That's the thing is the positive experience. I think no. I get what you're saying because I agree with that as well. That's why I push the tournaments. But you have the parents. They're like, oh, why do we have to travel so far for this? Why do we? How? Then you have the regional tournaments. Then you have the national tournaments. Then you have a mix, and you have some of your students going to these, some to that. So it does get a little confusing at times because you want to build a team, right, of your school to where they go together. So you have some schools that do that. You had some that just have no. I understand, but you don't have a school right now either. So
I never. Okay, I should say it like this. I never did that.
Right, but some want that because they want to build this bond together, right? And then they go together. But you also know that if you have some of these people that are at a higher level, you need to take them somewhere else. But then at the same time, you need to take them somewhere else to motivate them. You also want those other people to see them compete. So you kind of have to balance it a little bit on how many they can go to. You really are building your school because it really just takes one good competitor to motivate 3 or 4 or 5 others.
Yeah. So, but it's all got to start somewhere, right? It's a seed. Okay.
Right.
So, what I would do, what I did is I would put out a list like, hey, here's a list of tournaments. There's more than the tournament. There's more than these that you can really go to. Here's a list of tons of tournaments.
Right.
Nationwide, couple of them international. If you want to go to Canada, you want to go to go across the pond, you can do that too. Here's tons of them. You don't have to ask me. And I put it out. All right, it's on a list. I would have it across the school of all the events, anything from a belt exam to a kids' night out party in the karate school,
right,
to the Infinity National Championships, anything. All right. So there you go. plug Mike Welch Infinity National Championships. Mark it on your calendar. It'll probably be next May. All right. I didn't even get anything for that. He's just a cool guy. Whatever. So you have all that there, and you tell them like, these are all the events that we'll have people at. Somebody from our school will be there. There'll be maybe a lot, maybe there won't be any. All right. But this is the ones that we will usually get behind. So if you come up to me and say, hey, what about this one? I was thinking about going to this one. And there's a couple of them where you're like, yeah, I'm not going to go.
Right.
Oh, well, I was thinking about going. Maybe don't. Maybe think about this one. You're not only doing that because you're protecting your student because you're not going to be there and it's not really that great of an event. All right, what's Mike saying? Play devil's advocate, though, Alex. The owner is now afraid that they hire Jeff Doss to teach them how to be tighter in forms or Morgan Plowden to teach them sparring techniques to get them better. And that owner becomes afraid that they lose that student. I think that what you said should happen, but I think that my scenario happens as well. Well, Mike,
so
that's a scared owner. And I know
right.
you know of one, Mike, but here's the deal. If they did that the right way, right? If they did that the right way and they hire Morgan to come in and those students are like, oh my gosh, you're not even going to believe what you missed. Did you just say what? You're never going to believe it. And you put some videos up. You put some pictures up. You post them. All right. And you're like, you can't believe you guys missed this. And it's a positive experience. It's the owner's fault if he's like, yeah, I don't want to have him in there. Then they're going to make it seem like I don't know how to teach. It's a prideful thing at that point.
Right.
Get the heck out of your own way.
Right. Well, I mean, what drives me nuts, and I think I've talked about this before too, is when owners go to seminars and just sit and they don't participate, or they, and they don't. Now, some are there to, watch and learn it, which is fine, but you don't know until you do it, right? So I think owners should be bringing people in to help them because, again, your students are like, man, they did this for me, for us. Look what they're bringing in for us, right? That's one. Two, you should be going to other seminars and events to become a better teacher, to build upon those drills, and then you can help kind of create them with your own as well. So I think your learning doesn't stop. The teacher can't just be the teacher. They have to, if they stop learning and stop being the student, they're never going to be a great teacher. And that's what happens a lot of times. So,
and that's what I think Mike was alluding to.
Right.
Because there's people that have just kind of decided, I'm done learning, but I will always advance like rank wise because I just am.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, get the frick out of here, buddy.
Yeah.
But
I can't
there's a lot of them that exist, though. Am I right? There's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's part of the problem.
So, what about...
When you want to talk about this virtual fight tour and Pro Point thing? Because I kind of do. There's some things about it I like.
About it being on the same day?
Not about it being on the same day.
Okay.
But just them in general.
Well, yeah, no, I was just going to say the biggest problem that we've always had in sport karate is us not getting along. Promoters not working together. Promoters not getting along. Promoters stabbing each other in the back, even when you're in the same league. Okay? I'm going to tell everyone something that people are not going to like to hear, because everyone wants to take the easy way out and blame. Why is the MBO not around right now? It's not just because of boys. It's because the promoters did not ever get along, and everyone wanted to have their tournament be the best, and they'd stab each other in the back. I'm going to tell you myself, all of us were included. Everyone wants to have their tournament be the highest one, which, okay, that's great, but the sport still should be the goal, because if your term is the highest one and the sport gets worse, what are you, like the king of the swamp? That's not that, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not doing it right. I mean, what is it to say that I have the best this tournament when that league has gone to crap, right? So let's focus on making the league better and the sport better overall. So I'm just giving you an example. When we there were several times when we, as a Can-Am,
they're doing a little bit of this.
Yeah, when we were doing the Can-Am conference, okay, And we had some years where we did not communicate very well. We didn't work well together. Then we had some years that we did some amazing things for the sport, and everyone loved it, like having medals that connected to each other, and and worked together. We did, an all around like a triple crown type thing to work with our top competitors, and then the winners actually got their division paid for Super Grands. That type stuff. Promoters need to work together on that, doing different things. If you win this tournament, you get the next tournament your first division free. Like,
But nobody wants to do
why
that.
can't they work together? We did that for several years with us, Slugfest, INC, Infinity Nationals, those types of things, And
But people didn't want to do that anymore.
well, I mean, sometimes it worked, but sometimes it didn't. So I just think no one wanted to be patient with it, is what I think, because it's not going to be something that immediately gives you, numbers.
No, it's got to be something that's just
It's
kind of
got
the culture.
and
They just know after a
consistent.
while, like, oh yeah, I missed
Correct.
that last year.
Correct.
Oh
And
man, if I would have went to that one, then I could have got.
right,
All right, I got to win this one.
right. And so I just think there's more sport karate people, sport karate school owners right now need to be together. Okay. And I think
Word.
we all need to work together because we all come from that same culture. And there's too many sport karate schools or sport karate instructors that aren't making the money they should business wise. That's one. And two, that are just not, we are super competitive, and some of us are the best competitors in the world, but we don't take that competitive mindset into our business. And so that hurts us with our tournaments, that hurts us with developing people to continue our sport, and that hurts us with, just the numbers in your karate school as well. So I think we all just need to stick together. That's my opinion. Easier said than done, I know, but why can't we start the conversation?
Well, I'm going to say something that's going to be really out there. So I don't know how really out there it is. So what I would do, all right, Jeff, this is just the gift that God has really blessed you with. Not just the ability to do martial arts, but to also teach martial arts and be passionate about that.
Right.
Some people are really good at what they do, but really just they're like, I'm dead by the end of the day. I really don't like doing this.
Right.
I'm dead by the end of the day. I could stay in the karate school all freaking day. Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Right. So here's what I'm getting at. So what I would do is every year I would just pick, all right, there's one person that I'm going to do private lessons for on a consistent weekly basis for free. All right. And I didn't tell anybody except for that one person. And the only people who ever knew that I ever did that was the people I just told. Nobody would ever know that. All right. And they knew to never say anything. This is a little bit of a different time now. I kind of feel like this is a challenge I'm going to give to other people. All right. I wouldn't say it if I haven't already been doing it myself. I'll just say that right now.
Right.
All right. I've already put it into practice. All right. I think we need to do that for other school owners and do that to uplift the sport, because I mean we're watching schools close the doors.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
And not just a couple. All right.
No, a lot.
Go give just a free private lesson. Or not private lesson, a seminar. Just go give a seminar. Give it an hour and a half, whatever it's going to be. You know what? And let's say you do that and you don't get nothing from it. But that's not possible, because let's say you go and you do that and they're like, man, did you just see what's his name was just in here? I know, we just did that. And maybe you open it up to your students for free. Maybe you don't. All right. It's totally up to the school owner. All right. But then maybe you are open it up to, hey, if you want to reach out to this person for private lessons, they're readily available. All right. So it's never for nothing. And even if you didn't get anything as a financial gain from it, this is only one part of the gain. All right. We are helping each other. We are helping people throughout martial arts. And I really, that's a personal challenge I'm going to get to somebody. I hope somebody goes out there and does that. Just reaches out to somebody else and just says, hey, I was thinking about you, and I would like to do a lesson, just a seminar at your school for free. You pick the day and time.
Right.
What is Luis saying? Luis is saying, when people don't pay, they don't appreciate the value. That's Luis. I agree with you, but what you're doing is that free seminar could be between you and the owner.
Right. You can reach out to them.
Right.
You know, instead of the other way, instead of someone coming and asking for a free seminar, it's a little different.
No,
I think.
yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah.
So you could say, like, Luis, if you were going to do that to somebody, you could say, listen, I'm going to go to you, Karate School ABC, say, hey, I know we've kind of talked with each other in the past. You know, we got a good friendship. I just want to tell you, you pick the date on the calendar. I'll come to your school. I'll do a seminar for you for free. You charge your students. That's fine. Do whatever you got to do. All right. Don't tell them I'm doing it for free. All right. Charge them whatever you want to charge them. For you, it's me and you. It's free. You don't got to give me nothing. Something like that. All right. That's a way to building this up. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of ideas. I don't think everyone, it has to be a certain way.
I hope somebody else does that.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's always ways, you know, doing that. So, I mean, I think many of us have done that as well, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, do we want to get into that before we go?
I want to talk about this.
Okay.
VFT and Pro Point thing. So,
okay.
Dude, I've already been on regular. I love Virtual Fight Tour. I love it. All right. I'm telling Jesse, put me on a subscription. And I'm in. So I think that's like the best and the easiest to get behind, like right away. Like, are you kidding me? These are the people we want to see. When we go to a karate tournament, it's those people. All right, it's a set match. All right, it's like the what if. You know, what if? Oh, Anthony and Chris Robinson, Anthony Merrickx and Chris Robinson. That's a fantastic match. Let's see what's going on. And it was an exciting one. See, I'm bummed I missed the thing. Can't even believe that. All right. Or like the Aljava and Yoskar. Right.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a fantastic match. Just matches. And those are just guys that they might not even win the grand. They might not even win the division. You know, they're probably going to win the division. All right. But it's just things like that. Like, this is exciting to watch. This is fun. All right.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about is those types of people. We're putting them in a platform to help them, you know, just see them more, because we don't get to see them sometimes at tournaments. We only, if they don't make it to finals, you know.
Now, Pro Point, I'm going to tell you, I think has the best opportunity for the longest run.
Okay.
And the brightest future. Here's what I'm going to tell you about. Pro Point, the way it's been going, is easier to draw other people in that aren't involved in martial arts. When you watch Pro Point, the way you're seeing it, it mapped out. When you see
the view,
yeah, when you see the view, with the exception of not knowing like who's getting what, but you see the fight happening, right? And you're like, oh wow, and you kind of like, but that's the same thing with boxing. You don't really know who's winning, right? It's not up to you to know who's winning. You just look at it, and at the end, you know, at the end of a boxing match, like, oh man, guy got robbed, man. It should be this dude. This dude's so much better. You see that? You see the uppercut? You don't know anything, right?
Yeah.
Or anybody who's throwing a punch thinks they know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. But it could be the same kind of thing with this. So I don't know. Maybe they're onto something without declaring the points right away.
Yeah, who knows?
But
I think that's going to be something we got to play the patience game. You know,
the contact though, wow! I was pleasantly surprised to see the contact like that. All right, that was good. They're basically doing super fights, but point fights. Right. And if anybody paid a real close attention to the way the super fights started to be performed in its later years, it wasn't that real exciting to watch. People sat a lot and just waited for just one clean shot. All right. We digressed by 35 years in point fighting when towards the later years in super fights, but not the way that Pro Point was going. Pro Point was going. They were calling kicks. They were calling great stuff, but the contact was fantastic.
Right.
Now, guys weren't hitting the deck, you know, for an extended period of time either.
Right.
And I don't know if they had rules like that where like, all right, if you hit the deck, you know, you got a 1 minute. If you can't continue, you're out. And I think that there is something like that. And I know Jesse talked about he's going to do something like that. But I think if there is that, like, you know, hey, you suck it the heck up and you get out there and fight,
Right.
or no, there's something wrong. And so, and that's not saying that,
And see,
there's never something wrong, because sometimes
right.
there is.
And see, I like that the things are different. I like that the rules are different. The presentations are different. I think that's cool. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying that's got to be unified. No, I'm
right.
not saying that.
No, no, no.
I like them
You can
both.
still work together with having those different things. You know what I mean? And for me, what's good is that we're seeing people do both. Jack is doing both. You know, he did the VFT now, and now he's going to do the Pro Point. You know,
Right.
they're doing both. You know, Robbie, same thing. You know, did the Pro Point. Now he's going to do the VFT.
Oh, that's
So
right. They're doing the tag team. Is it tag
so
team or just team?
no, no, just team. Yeah. So yeah. So it's going to be. So I think that's good. You know, I think we can work together on that. I think the promoters are the ones that have to get together. So and that's not just pointing out them two. In everything, in sport karate in general, we all have to work together. School owners as well. I'm sorry, I don't like it that you know, this whole 70s and 80s mindset of, well, with that karate school and I don't want to work with them or this or that. You know, we got to get out of that. So,
You know what? I'm gonna give here's an example of that. It's a good friend of mine. His name is Dave Coons. He's in Colorado Springs. He runs a national karate school out there. Shout out, if you're in the Colorado Springs area, go check him out. He's got a lot of good fighters out there. Okay, they had a seminar for him a couple years back. Really, really good guy. Um, but what he did when he moved out there from Minnesota, he's the most Minnesota guy you could find. Right, is Dave. Right.
yeah.
So he goes out there, and what he does is he finds the other karate schools out there, and he goes and he introduces himself and tells them, like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. You know, just wanted to introduce myself. So from the neighboring martial arts schools, and they didn't really want to have anything to do with him at first. They kind of wanted to just, you know,
Yeah. Right.
say, you know, go jump in a lake. And like the CKA was like the Colorado like Karate Association or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like pulling teeth to even really do point fighting like a certain way. So he's like, he tried talking to him. He's like, guys, we're not competing with each other. We're
Right.
competing with soccer. We're
Yep.
competing with football. We're
Exactly.
competing with basketball. Those are our competitors. We're supposed to be doing this thing together, because
Right.
if we can't get out of our own way, we don't have a business.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and again, I think more communicating together. You know what? If someone is leaving another karate school and they come in your door and they talk to you, I'm sorry, the first thing that I do is call that school and talk to them before I ever let them sign a contract or whatever. You know, I check with them and see what's going on, because I think we need to, you know, if there was an issue with there, they need it. We can talk about it, you know. I just think that there's certain common courtesy with that stuff, you know, and that way that way there's an awareness, you know. Hey, this is what's going on. I'm not trying to, you know, I just think being upfront with people about all those issues, you know, because, you know, because again, we don't want that person to stop doing karate. You know, we want them to keep doing karate. So I think we need to work together on that, but do it in a way that, you know, to where we all work together. You know, it's not like someone is stealing someone's student or whatever, you know, because that doesn't help us either. So,
Guys, drop some ideas in the comments too. I mean, Jeff and I are just throwing some ideas out there, but
right,
drop some
right,
ideas if you're like, hey, what if you guys did this? Like, drop some
right.
ideas. We're all one community.
Yeah. We didn't even get into our thing that we want to do, our kind of fantasy league thing, but
That's
yeah,
not
no,
happening now.
no, yeah, that's not happening now. But that's something we're gonna do maybe in a week or
Oh
a
my
couple weeks.
gosh, I
So
can't
yeah,
wait to do
yeah.
that. That's going to be
So
fun.
yeah, when we come up with what tournaments or what promoters we want involved, and if we had a league to create, and maybe some ideas that we would make to make it stand out,
If we
something
were Mr.
different.
Burns
That's right.
and we
That's
were
right.
running a karate organization.
That's right. That's right. So we're going to be doing that in a few weeks. Do you want to get into our videos for your pod?
Heck yeah, I do.
All
These ones are
right.
great.
Yes, these are some more fighting type ones. So
The
it's going to be cool.
viral videos for your pod. These ones are good ones. I liked looking at these ones today. I gave myself a good giggle. Did you get? I don't know if you got a chance to look at them at all, but they were pretty good.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. All right. And thank you guys for joining. I mean, we've had some fun reading the comments today too.
All right, let's check this one out. This one,
This is
I
crazy.
believe this one is like Michael Page.
I think so.
This one's pretty fantastic. Let's watch how this one goes. So he's moving at a
Hold on,
0.5. One guy's chasing after him.
And soccer.
And he literally jumps backwards. A bicycle soccer
That's a
kick.
bicycle soccer kick, yeah.
Bam. And he hits him with both feet. Yeah, that is Michael Page.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, these are two big dudes. That dude chasing him is blitzing at him. Miss,
at that point,
and soccer kick. And, wow.
Who thinks of that?
I don't know, man.
That was fantastic.
Michael Page.
I've never thought of that before. I love that one. Now this
is crazy.
This I felt bad for when I saw this. So this is Stephen Thompson. This is the Wonder Boy.
Boom.
And this guy invites just to take leg kicks. It's like, let's take leg kicks from a pro UFC fighter.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And look at him the way he
look at his hamstring. This guy's jacked too.
Yeah. When they zoom in, this is the crazy part.
Oh my gosh.
How bad his leg is.
This dude looks like
his
leg looks like
gravel.
Man.
Like, it looks like small little pebbles is on top of his skin. It's insane. Like, it's blistering up already.
Bang! Baseball bat knocks him down.
Well, the leg, he kicked him like a baseball bat. Yeah, just for those listening.
Another one. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right to the back of the
this is it again. It just
and you can tell this guy does some squats. That don't matter.
Yeah. His calves are huge, man. Like, it's, crazy. Yeah. That's Wonder Boy. Steve Wonderboy Thompson. Steve Wonderboy Thompson. Wow.
Yuck. Now this may have been the craziest thing I've seen.
This is crazy. This is a judo type tournament.
Yeah. I hope Chris Walker does something like this when he does the virtual fight tour.
So the guy in the blue gets
it looks like he's about to get destroyed.
And he switches it and just slams the guy on his face.
Dude, he does a butterfly twist.
Right. You're right.
So he goes and he gets flipped. So with the 1 foot, he hops, does a butterfly twist, and twists the guy's body around and slams him.
And he lands on his belly, and he's good. He gets up faster. It's crazy.
And the strut was fantastic afterwards.
Right.
I couldn't believe it. That was great.
Nuts.
No chance I could pull that off.
No,
nothing. No way.
I've had some crazy things where I've had to do something like that before, but nothing that nutty.
Exactly, Luis.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He did a B twist. Yeah,
it's crazy.
He did a B twist slam. Who does that?
Nuts.
Yeah.
I've had to do before where I had to avoid getting pinned in wrestling, right? And so I think it was maybe 10th grade. And so I'm bridging up. So that means I'm on my head, right? And he is like on my chest trying to pin me. And he's like that close. And I'm just bridging to where my head is almost touching my heel. Like that, right? The other way. And somehow I do it. And it looks like on video that like my hip came out of socket to turn over. And then I reversed it and pinned the guy right there. It was the craziest thing. I don't know how I did it. I just said I was not going to give up.
That's gross.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I've seen some crazy stuff like that before.
That's gross. I would not want to do that.
In wrestling, I've seen it a lot. So,
did you ever cut weight in wrestling?
I didn't. I mean, most of it would be like, like a pound or something, but it wouldn't be nothing crazy. I never did the whole cutting weight.
My brother had to cut weight.
Yeah, I hated that, man.
So my mom did an evil thing. I'll never forget this. It was his senior year, right?
Yeah.
My brother was really good, right? Mm-hmm. And you could be really good at a bad school in Minnesota, and you could be garbage at a mediocre school in Minnesota. And if you're garbage at a mediocre school, you're like fantastic, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like that. So anyway, he was pretty good, right? He was on varsity at our school, and our school typically had a lot of guys go to state, right?
Yeah.
For wrestling, where they only take 2 people to go to state per weight class. So
Okay.
anyway, so per section. So anyway, my brother is like a half a pound overweight the day before, right? This wrestling meet. My mom and I'm like, oh mom, I don't know what you're gonna do for dinner. And I would always come back, my mom all the time because I was old enough to be out, but still young enough to where mom could still make you some food. So I just pop over, see whatever she was making. And I'm like, man, Adam's over. I don't know what you're gonna have for dinner. She goes, we're having calzones. And I'm like, Mom, no. She's like, yes, we are. She made huge calzones. And she brought out like big things of Gatorade too. And I'm like, this is just, you gotta be kidding me. Adam is downstairs, away from everything, trying to stay away from it. I'm like, this is evil. The smell.
That is evil.
Now I'm sitting in his room with it,
evil.
and the smell is just like it's fantastic. You're having Italian, calzones. And he snaps. He's like, that's it. And he goes upstairs and he eats a calzone.
Oh my
like
God.
Half of one. And I'm like, dude, what are you gonna do? And he goes, don't worry, I got it. Kid you not, this actually happens. Promise you this is the truth. So he's in his underwear and he takes himself and he wraps himself in saran wrap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop, man, don't do that. And he goes, oh, I'm not done. I don't know how he was able to do this. I didn't help him do this. Like somehow he was able to do this like with his own. All right.
Yeah.
So then he puts himself in a sweatsuit. Then he puts himself inside a sleeping bag and just zips this thing up and lays down. And I was like, that's it. And I'm like, this is going to be the grossest night's sleep any human has ever had.
Ugh.
And he almost made weight. He didn't. But he put on, like right after that, he put on like 3.5 pounds or something ridiculous.
Jeez.
And then he almost cut it off, but he didn't cut it. All right. But it was.
So he didn't. That's not good. Yeah.
No. Like, what did you think? This is horrible. You're destroying your body.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And then he didn't even get to compete. So, yeah. There you go.
Right.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
All right.
But yeah, I mean,
we're not announcing who our guest is then next week yet, right?
No. We'll put that out at the end of the week.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we got some cool ideas that are coming, and
yes,
you guys don't want to miss these next few guests that we have to finish out this year.
Yeah, really to finish out this year. We're already booking 2021 for guests.
Yeah,
It's a positive problem. It's fantastic.
Yes.
All right, guys, love it. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Dawes. Have a blessed week, guys. See you next week.